Splatoon Raiders has been out for a few days, and one of the things I quickly noticed is how important levels are to making the experience easier. During the main campaign, you're able to punch a few levels above what is recommended, but if you're struggling or playing on a higher difficulty, leveling up can make a significant difference. When leveling up, you get a marginal increase to your health as well as damage, including a skill point that you can invest into having more health, weapon damage, gadget damage, or more slots on your gadget. While the health is nice, damage is especially important, especially given how the biggest challenges in the game put you on a time limit. While there are ways to multiply or scale your damage appropriately, they can only go so far, as the formulas used for determining your total damage output stems from your base level. Therefore, you might be asking yourself, what is the fastest and easiest way I can level up in Splatoon Raiders? I, Neptune, will be attempting to answer this question with this guide video. No spoilers, by the way, if you're worried about that. So let's get this started with the obvious. The game has recommended levels, and the higher that is, the higher the overall experience yield is given upon completion. Therefore, completing levels close to your own is always a good idea if you're looking to level up. With the additional options to run spicy variants of levels, that can certainly give you the boosted experience that you oh so desire. However, some of these levels do run for a bit too long, or too much to handle with your given loadout. You might just end up retrying these levels and making slightly more progress than last time rather than completing the level. This flies in the face of efficiency, as difficulty adds some unreliability as the level is designed to be more challenging. The goal is to find an easy experience goldmine, one where you can easily sit back, relax, and reliably go back to farm to your heart's content. To accomplish this goal, I set up a simple spreadsheet and had it on the side during my playthrough. Each time I finished a level, I noted down the time on the results screen and the total experience I gained, and then put the total experience and divided it by the time to get an experience rate for that level. I then looked at those levels with the highest experience rate and reevaluated them based on the total time I spent. An immediate trend started to form with the den levels. There are pretty simple levels that each feature a singular boss salmon, each lasting roughly a minute and a half. While these levels are normally played to farm a specific scrap part for upgrading your gadgets, they also yield quite a lot of experience. The one I found to be the most accessible and the easiest is the Starboro Den, which soon unlocks after the second main boss fight in the main campaign. Around this time, the damage from your weapons and gadgets are getting pretty solid, and the big shots you have to face in this level can comfortably be disposed of regardless of the tank you've been primarily using. My first run through, I finished in 1 minute and 21 seconds and got 12,513 experience points. Putting that as a rate, that is 154 experience points per second, which is very good considering the ease of it, and the recommended level is only 25. It even works well if your level is scaling into the 30s or the 40s. You can just keep coming back here and easily beat up these big shots. There are other specific dens I want to mention that have a greater experience yield around this time, but I find them to be less flexible with your loadout or can be seen as more difficult. The She's Den on the Spicy variant has a recommended level of 26 and features scrappers. This is pretty solid if you invest into the power tank, as the splatchet can pierce their shields. I calculated a rate of 193 experience points per second, which is 40 more than the Starboro Den. The Croissant, Dragon, and Colshant dens come later on and have higher recommended levels, but you have to deal with more annoying boss salmons in my opinion. They respectively have an experience rate of 197, 230, and 251 experience points per second. I will also note that there are levels that yield far higher experience rates after the main story, but they force the in-game difficulty option to Survivalist, the highest one, and that's pretty difficult if you're not properly prepared. Something you can do with every den in the game is turn down the in-game difficulty down to Tourist. And remember, changing the in-game difficulty only affects the enemy's strengths, not what you can acquire, which includes experience in our case. Overall, let's summarize what we talked about today when it comes to farming experience quickly. Den levels typically have the best experience yield rate and what is recommended if you are looking to farm experience specifically. The tutorial den is my personal recommendation, given its low recommended level and how easy it is to dispose of big shots. It works even if you're going into your 30s and 40s and is a pretty comfortable time. The experience yield rate remains high and increases proportionally to the recommended level, so if you are going to be tackling higher level dens, just make sure you can comfortably clear them first and foremost. You can also turn the in-game option difficulty down to Tourist to make dens even easier to farm, as remember, those give you the same number of experience and make the enemies hit less hard. There is additional content that unlocks after the main story that yields some of the highest experience that you can possibly get, but it comes with the caveat of being forced on the highest difficulty, so only do that if you are able to handle it and properly equipped. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want more Raiders Guide content, feel free to subscribe to the channel or follow me on Blue Sky on the screen right now. Also leave a like and or comment, as those are one of the ways YouTube determines a video should be passed around more to more people, so if you feel this video deserves it, I would greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned, and I'll see you back next time.